welcome to eBay. Just so you know, we may record and listen to this call. In a few words, tell me how I can help you.
Customer service.
To get you to the right person, tell me the reason for your call.
Follow-up call.
I didn't catch that. What did you say you're calling about?
Subscriber fees.
You're calling about a subscription. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me pass you to an eBay teammate who can help.
Thank you for calling eBay. My name is Casey. Can I get your first and last name, please?
Hi, Casey. Good afternoon. This is Michael Barden, B-A-R-D-E-N.
Hey, Michael, thanks so much for calling in. What eBay user account are we looking at for you today?
Hats around the world.
And can you just go ahead and verify for me, please, the address on that account?
Sure, it's 9.
Perfect. And how can I be of service to you today?
Well, I'm just calling because I spoke with somebody on Monday or Tuesday, and it was kind of a complex conversation. They said they had to speak with the supervisor, and they would get back with me, at least send me a confirmation email by the next day, email and a phone call. And I received neither of those, so I'm just calling regarding that. And I have a case number here.
And again, thank you, number, please. Okay. Let's take a look here and see. Okay, you can see. Okay, I can see some notes here. Is it okay if I take a moment and just kind of read through the notes? And it looks like the person he originally spoke to sent like this contact off to someone to be kind of like to take over the call and to take over kind of the communications here. So let me take a look and kind of find the notes and see what's going on here, okay?
Sure.
All right, thank you. I'll be right back pretty shortly. Hey there, Michael. I'm just checking in with you. I'm just finishing up kind of reading that, and there is another person who's kind of been apparently was going to take over this contact. And so I just reached out to them to see what was going on with it. So give me just a couple more minutes to kind of reach out to them and contact them and kind of see what's going on and get our ducks in a row here, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks for your patience. Be right back. All right. Thanks so much for holding. I really appreciate it. So it looks like your contact was sent forward to essentially our Office of the President group.
I'm sorry, wait, that broke up. To who?
To our Office of the President group, essentially, they take higher end escalations and stuff like that. I'm trying to reach out to any of those teammates to see what the plan is going on there. But I guess like in that time, I don't want to have to just keep putting you on hold or anything like that. What were you looking for in, I guess, a follow-up and kind of what needed to happen at this point?
Well,
What were you looking to be done today? Because the other agents notes essentially say, hey, this is what happened, and I'm sending the member on to this person, and then this person had sent them off to be reviewed by a different team. So I'm just curious, what are we looking to do, and what can I do to help you today?
Okay, well, first I want to verify what you said, because both times you said who it was sent off to, the phone was really sketchy and broke up. So it's the Office of the President group?
Correct.
Okay, and that's within eBay?
Correct.
Okay, So my store has basically been being shut down since June 12th because my fees haven't been paid. Those fees were charged when they shouldn't have been, and now my sales are going down drastically. So I want the restrictions taken off of my store, and I want my items relisted, and I want to be reimbursed and or indemnified for the fees that I was not supposed to be paying for relisting items when items were listed indefinite or until sold. And I want somebody to, if they're not going to do that, I want them to show me in the contract or point out to me in the contract where it says that items that are listed indefinitely or until sold are charged a monthly fee. Because I've been getting charged $1,400 approximately a month for a couple years, year and a half possibly, to keep my store open for my fees after the option of 30-day listings went away. And then after that, the only option was to list indefinitely or until sold. And it doesn't make any sense at all to where I would have to pay a relisting fee if absolutely nothing is being relisted. So I'm been sent an invoice after this COVID shutdown and all of the riots and looting and everything that's affected my store. My sales have gone down over 50% a couple times. The last few days they've gone down drastically as well, and items are being ended in my store. So instead of the 12 or 13,000 items that I have, it's down to 9,000 items. My sales are going down. My store has been affected negatively to where I cannot relist any of those items that eBay is automatically ending, and I'm losing my business. So I want my store, until this can be rectified and eBay can give me some kind of answer, I want my store to be reinstated so I can relist those items that eBay has ended. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years, and we go through a fake worldwide pandemic and looting and riots in the stores that affects everybody's business. I know I'm not the only one that's been affected on eBay. And payments were supposed to be deferred after this shutdown, and I get an invoice for $4,000. I call in and they tell me that it's not actually $4,000, it's $2,500. And then so I was like, well, okay, that's still not possible because of this shutdown and the way that my business has been affected. And shortly after that, I get an invoice for over $5,000. I can't pay that. And like I said, my store has items ending when they shouldn't be ending. And I'm going out of business. And I've been doing this for 10 years successfully, and then gone through the organized stalking and harassment that eBay's put me through over at least the last 3 years, which I've documented very well. I've called and I've reported this over and over and over to eBay. They assured me that nothing like that would ever happen within eBay, and then on June 12th, coincidentally the same day that my items in my store are being ended automatically, 6 eBay executives are arrested for organized stalking and harassment, literally breaking into people's homes, surveilling them, sending them death threat packages like funeral wreaths, cockroaches, bloody pig masks, etc., and harassing them in general. You know, I'm sure you've heard of this. It's on the Department of Justice website. So exactly what I've been explaining to eBay, calling in, contacting the fraud department, contacting customer service over and over, trying to get them to stop doing what they're doing to me, that after them denying it for years on recorded calls, I see that they're arrested for exactly, high-level executives are arrested for exactly what I've been describing. So I would like eBay to work with me and let me reopen my store, and at least let me continue selling until they get something worked out and they can decide what they want to do.
Okay. just release your store to be listed on today with a balance that high on your account. What I can do, and like, I'm sorry that these things have happened to you, and we recognize, right, that those are the actions of individuals, not as eBay as a company, right? And if those individuals had impacted you, like, that's probably why the case in your call was transferred over to
Well,
the office
as a matter of fact, no, I'm going to stop you right there because
right?
no, I'm going to stop you right there because it is eBay as a company, because eBay holds a contract with the FBI Infraguard. Infraguard is a Stasi, East German type Stasi policing system that stalks, harasses, and terrorizes victims that are illegally watch listed through the FISA court, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. And I'm one of those people.
I don't know about that, okay? But like,
well, I'm telling you,
this is why it's probably going. And it's not for me to decide what that
whether you know about that or not.
What I want to do is find a resolution for you. I don't want to argue about what's happened, right?
I'm not arguing. I'm telling you facts. And whether you know about it or not, eBay is partnered with FBI Infraguard. It's on the Infraguard website, INFRAGARD, and you can go right there and see that they're partnered with eBay is a partner with FBI Infraguard. So that's a fact. That's not us arguing. I'm telling you a fact, and you can easily look that up. So I've documented this diligently for over 3 years, and eBay is putting me in a situation where I could be homeless. So they can either indemnify me for what they've done to me over the last 3 years, open my store back up. But I mean, now, you know what? I'm not going to say it that way, because then you guys will take that as a threat, or I'm blackmailing you or something like that, and I'm not. I just want them to do the right thing, have some integrity, and work with me until the case is worked out, and until, just so I can keep a roof over my head. I have a kid. I'm trying to run an honest business, and they've been slowly trying to shut me down for years.
Well, and here's kind of what I would like to do, right? Like I said, I can't just release your store to be open out that balance. But what I can do is I can reach out to a couple of people. I'm not going to sit here on the phone with you to do that, because I don't think it's valuable.
Why has nobody gone over this in a week? I talked to somebody on either Monday or Tuesday. They lied to me, told me that they would call me and send me a verification email the next day. I was patient. I waited until today, and now you're telling me the exact same thing. I have to wait over the weekend while more of my items are being ended and my sales are rapidly going down.
Yeah,
so you're telling me
I don't want that for you, right? Like, I really don't want you to have to wait longer than an hour for me to do research and get information.
Well,
because the reality of it is I wasn't the person who you spoke with before, and I wasn't their leadership.
Well, that's how it always works. So why isn't the person that this was sent to, that was forwarded to, a supervisor or somebody in the fraud department, somebody that is higher up? Why have they not contacted me back? Are they avoiding my call? I mean, they've had a week to discuss this, think it out, find an accountant, one of the accountants within eBay, to go over my sales, my relisting fees, and the contract, and give me an answer regarding why I was charged those fees, because I shouldn't even be paying those fees in the first place, and now my store is shut down because of fees that I shouldn't have been paying. So I'm being punished for eBay's attack. I'm not even going to call it a mistake. If it was a mistake, that'd be one thing, but it's not. It's completely obvious, and like I said, I've documented it diligently. So why do I have to, on Friday now, speak to another customer service representative that, of course, you're going to say, well, I wasn't, present during that call. I wasn't the person you talked to, so we're going to have somebody get back to you. That was the exact same thing that I was told earlier this week. Nobody's contacted me back.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I would hope that you trust me, but like, with the experience you have probably had, you're not going to. But the reality of it is I can't go into something blindly and bat for you, right? Like, if I want to play baseball, I have to swing the bat a dozen times before I know what's going on. So I have to gather information to assist you. And with this being what you said it is already, and your concerns, like, I don't just want to make a promise that I can't fulfill, and I don't want to make any agreements that you could use to condemn eBay or me in the future, right? And so what I want to do is I want to understand specifically what your situation is, why was this charged when it shouldn't have been, and why hasn't someone reached out to you? That's my goal in going into doing research. And I could honestly, if you want to sit on hold, I could put you on hold for an hour while I do all the research and reach out to all the people. We're all working remotely across 3 states, and so it's going to take a minute for me to contact each of those people and to have conversations with them. Or you can have the confidence that in 1 hour from now, I'm in Mountain Standard Time, so it's 3 p.m. here. In 1 hour from now, I can give you a follow-up call and let you know where I'm at. It might not be perfect in saying, hey, I've got this all figured out and we can get your store released, but at least it would be a piece that hey, this is what's going on. Casey's doing the research for me. He doesn't have an answer yet, but at least he's putting in the footwork that needs to be done before. And that's what I'm willing to do, even though this isn't necessarily my assignment or my task or even my department. But I don't think if the things you were saying is what's going on, then let's work to make it right. That's my end goal.
I appreciate that. And to reiterate what you said, I don't have confidence that anybody will call me back because it never happens. I always have to be the one that calls back. I always get ignored. I never receive, maybe 1 or 2 times in the last few years, I've actually received a call back from eBay, somebody that's trying to work on one of these situations. So the thing is that I'm asking you, why do you, okay, so you're saying you have to research the situation, you have to contact the people. So you're contacting the people that this case was forwarded to get some kind of answer from them to relay that to me. Why can't they?
Yeah, and that's the thing is they're not an online person. They don't have a number I can transfer you to. And to be honest with you, it's kind of like one of those things that's accountability. Like me reaching out to them and saying, "Hi, why didn't you address this, or why wasn't this taken care of, and why has it been pushed off for me to now be the chopping block here?" Where Michael, who's had this experience he's had, now it's getting worse. Is dealing with, and that's accountability. And then I can go to their leadership, and I can go to the correct channels internally, because if people aren't doing their job, they don't need to be here. And so that's the reality of it is there are probably people who just suck at their job. Let's be real.
No,
but
that's absolutely not the case.
I'm not here because
that's not the case.
You a few flashy words. I just
see,
want to get to the
that's
bottom
always
of
the
it,
excuse that somebody just sucks at their job, but that's not even the case at all. If they were just bad at their job, that'd be one thing. They're intentionally taking the effort to try to take down my store. So that's not the situation at all. If somebody was just bad at their job, I wouldn't be in this situation. I'd be able to work through it. But this has been happening over and over and over, and they're intentionally intentionally going out of their way. And that's why those 6 people were arrested. They were arrested by the Department of Justice for organized stalking and harassment. So they have standard operating procedures that they're disseminating throughout eBay to take part in this program. So whether you know that or not, if you did, you signed a non-disclosure or a national security letter that says you can't talk about it, so I don't expect you to do that.
And the reality of it is I'm not talking about those people who've been arrested, right? I'm talking about the people you talked to on the phone last week and the people who are supposed to get back to you. That's the only people I'm talking about here, because with the store going down, and if listings are disappearing, I'm going to be super honest with you, once a balance goes over due, it's not a person who's removing listings, it's actually a program piece within the site. And so with that, as far as I know and what I can see in the notes that we have on your account, it's actually the automated system doing that. And so if I were to, and just so you're aware, right, if I were to go into today and attempt to relinquish your store so that you could continue listing and selling, the automated system will actually go back through and just stop it again.
And that's a good way to
disable that feature.
That's a good way for people to lay blame on somebody else other than them. They say, "Oh, it was just the system. That's how the system is set up. There's nothing we can do about that." So, I know you're a ground level customer service representative, anchor store service representative, and you get stuck in the middle of a lot of this stuff. I'm not upset with you personally, but you can understand the aggravation that I'm going through just trying to run an honest business. I made over $120,000 a little over 4 years ago, and then the wave of targeting procedures started in my life. It's a long story if you've never researched what a targeted individual goes through, but this is just a small part of what happens in my life. Everything in my life is attacked. I do interviews on radio talk shows with former CIA, FBI, NSA whistleblowers explaining these programs. It's well documented, and I'm one of the people that are going through it. So the eBay thing is just one of the things that I'm battling with every single day of my life. So, it's coming towards the end of it. I see people, eBay executives aren't the only people that have been arrested, and there are other people that are going to be held accountable. So I just want to try my best to get through this part so I can get back to my normal life and not have to deal with this anymore. So yeah, if it sounds completely crazy what I'm talking about, like, who is this guy? Is he making stuff up? He doesn't talk to the CIA. I have a website, and I'll just give it to you. You don't have to write it down if you don't want to, but it's barredin.us. And on there, you can learn and understand what targeted individuals go through, how this was facilitated through the Department of Homeland Security when the watch listing guidance was updated in 2013, and the mass shooting started skyrocketing after that. It's a pretty big thing. It's not just like me. It's not just me. There are probably over 1 million people in the United States that are going through this, and there's a lot going on with it right now. So anyway, all right, well, I guess that's all I have. I'll let you get to making some phone calls, and I'll stand by for a call back.
Well, let's get a phone number that I can call you back on. How does that sound? Just to make sure that I call the right number, the right person, and there's no misinformation here.
Okay, does the phone number you have on file there end in, that's my number?
Yeah, well, I'll just shoot you a call back on that, Michael. I'll do some research and see what's going on. Like I said, I will call you back. I probably might not have the answer you're looking for, but I just want you to know that I'm doing the research and trying to get stuff down. If we have to wait over the weekend, I am sorry, but like I said, I want to do the research. I want to talk to people, and I want to see why this wasn't addressed. And so, in case said, give me an hour. So like I said, I'm Mountain Time, so it's 3 or 4 p.m. I will call you back in 1 hour from now around 4:10.
Okay, and just to verify, what email address do I have on file with you guys for eBay to email me to contact me? Okay. All right. Yeah, check that email address. Nothing was sent to me. So, okay. All right. I appreciate your help. And I'm sorry, tell me your name one more time.
My name was Casey, just C-A-S-E-Y.
Casey. All right. So you're on the Casey for me. You're on the case. All right.
Yep, I'm looking into it for you. I'll be here, okay? And we'll talk to you in about an hour, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep, bye.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for taking my call, and thanks for letting me do a little bit of research into what is going on and kind of what's happened. So I reached out to a couple of different people. One was first off, I had seen that the call, right, like I told you, had been transferred to our team that kind of handles it on the back end, called the Office of the President. They are still kind of getting through some of their stuff that they're working on right now, and so they're a little bit delayed in getting back to you. So I sent them a follow-up email just explaining the conversation you and I had and kind of your concerns with that. So that I've sent off, but I don't intend just to stop there. I will follow up again on Monday just to make sure that, hey, what's going on, because I don't work Fridays, Saturdays. But I'll follow up again on Monday and see what can be found out. If anything, they can give me some insight, and maybe I can have a call back with you and them. I don't know, but that's what I'm kind of hoping for. Next, I looked into the billing because I know that you were concerned about your store being, listings being hidden and, your bill being overdue. I looked into that to kind of see, and I know that you'd mentioned that you'd signed up for the store deferment, right? They'd agreed to defer your store fees for a month, correct?
Oh, for the COVID shutdown?
Yeah.
I believe I did. I can't recall if I filled out that form or not, but it did send me messages saying that payments had been deferred, and they were deferred during, I think it was for more than a month, but I don't remember the exact timeline.
Okay. So when I looked into it, you did fill out the information as far as the payment being deferred. that one.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at the notes and kind of what was agreed to and set up initially, so here's kind of how it was. It was 100% deferred of your 1,191.31 for April 20 invoice,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was 50% deferred amount of 50% of the deferred amount would be applied to the May 2020 invoice, and then the remaining 50% was deferred to the June 2020 invoice.
Okay.
So it looks like there was only one invoice that was deferred, which was just the April one, but then it goes back onto the other invoices, what was agreed on. And with that one, so I wasn't here during that time. I actually had some family members pass away. Just my grandparents, they were just old, and so I wasn't here for it originally. So I reached out and did a little research on that and kind of how the deferment worked. And so, for instance, you had sold items, for instance, in May and June, right? And those invoices already started out essentially with a 595.65 balance from your April invoice. Each of those did, and so that's probably why the invoices were seeming really skewed in those later months, is because they already had that high balance of 595.65 applied to them from your April invoice. And so those deferments, it was only for just the month of April, and then with 595.65 and 595.66 on the two following invoices. While I was reviewing this, I reached out to leadership and billing specialists to see if there could be anything done to get your account so that you would be able to sell and get it done, so you could get back to making money here on eBay, right? With that one, they told me that that we wouldn't get permission at all just to activate your account for sales, but that the good news that they could do and that I would be given permission to do is if you could pay for the first month of sales, like your first invoice, which is the May invoice, due to the $3,143.39, we would be able to take your account on hold during that time, and then you would be able to sell up until the due date on the next invoice and just pay the remaining balance off then, which is not something traditionally they do. But because, hey, we recognize, originally there was a deferment and things haven't been going smoothly for a lot of folks, that's what we'd be able to do to make it so you could make sales and your listings wouldn't be hidden or removed from the site.
Okay, so that's not possible for me to be able to pay $3,000, but they're avoiding the issue of being overcharged for listing items that were listed indefinitely or until sold for the last year and a half, 2 years. So I should not have been charged.
With those, I looked into that as well, about those, those good till canceled listings, and looking at it, when we transferred over to these, right, the way that we did it, and I can send you the links where we kind of talk about it. This is kind of how it'll work, is every month, right, you get an allocation of listings with zero insertion fees for paying your store, fee. And so there's the manual and automatically relisted items that count towards that. And the original listings for each month, they're good to cancel. So every month, right, you only get so many that fall under that you can have on the site. And so you can change those every month and end some and relist some. But as long as those slots are filled up, they count towards that, even if they're a good till canceled listing.
So if an item is listed indefinitely or until sold, the seller is still charged a relisting fee each month, is what you're telling me.
Correct. So for instance, let's say that I use this seats in a car, right? I use this with my brothers all the time. So I have 3 brothers, and let's say that I am in the driver's seat, and then I have 3 other brothers, one that takes up the passenger seat and the 2 back seats, and they've essentially called those seats, right? And that's what the listings are. So when we create the listings the first month and then we set them up as good till canceled, those listings roll over the next month. They're still sitting in the same seat, right? It's still their seat, that's still their spot, and they still count towards the car being full. Or
I understand your analogy there, but it still doesn't make any sense that if the item is not being relisted, that it shouldn't have to pay 10 cents per listing, because it takes away a seller benefit. When an item is listed for 30 days and the item is showing on eBay that the item will be ending in a few days, sales will regularly go up in the last 3 or 4 days towards the end of that listing, because people will see that the item will be ending. And now after after that changed, I noticed a drop in sales towards the end of the month when I didn't have that option to do 30-day listings. So there's a benefit that you're paying for to list those for 30 days, and then that benefit was basically taken away, but then you're still charged. And how can they charge relisting fees for something that is not being relisted? It makes absolutely no sense.
So you're seeing listings that aren't even being relisted at all that are having those fees, you're saying?
Yeah, for the last year and a half. I'd go in and relist those items because they're listed indefinitely. So if I'm relisting nothing, I should not be getting charged for relisting fees.
So are items automatically being taken? Are you taking these items off the site so they're not sitting there? Because, for instance, if you're going over the amount that you have the allotment, right? Say you have 10,000 listings that you have available on the site, and those fees go, and say you have 14,000 listings, right? You'll be charged an insertion fee for those every 10 that roll, those 4,000 that roll over. And that's because you're paying for extra space beyond what you have allocated.
Okay. I get what you're saying, but it doesn't make any sense to have to be charged for eBay doing literally nothing to keep those in the store. So where can I find in the contract that specifically states that items that are listed indefinitely or until sold are charged a fee?
Yeah, I can send you a couple of different things, like help pages that are just available on help and contacts. Some that say zero insertion fee listings, and that goes over how the process works and how we work it. And then we also have a couple other pages I can send you with those outlines.
Well, I mean, there should be something when I sign up for the subscriber account. There should be something that I checked or signed off on, saying I agree to these terms, and there should be something specific in that agreement that states exactly how that works.
And I can send it to you. I can send the agreement that you signed and you agreed for when you signed for the store there, and it's in there. I'm just sending you the ones that are more condensed down and as they are, this is what it is, right? And so I can send you all those things. I can send you 5 or 6 links if you'd like, to show you that these fees are, part of the contract that you have with eBay when you go over your listing limits for your store, and I can send that to you, and I'm happy to send it to you.
Okay, that's pretty shady. All right. Well, I'm just doing my due diligence to contact you guys and try to get something worked out.
Of course.
I guess this is all I can do right now.
And like I said, I don't know what you'd be able to pay. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, right? If you can, what you can pay it, and then give us a call back and see, because I've noted down, in my conversation and my notes that, hey, we talked about this. And I'll even put that, what you can pay, for instance, put it down and let's see what we can do. Because if I can get a secret list, or you could do stuff for a certain amount of time, it would benefit you, right? But
yeah, that's not going to be an option. I've lost so much money that all I have left is to possibly, if I get lucky, pay my rent at the beginning of the month and try to find some other job so I continue living here after my store's been shut down. So that's not going to be an option. I'm not going to be able to pay any of that right now. I've lost. I mean, if you guys go back and look at the sales that were directly affected by the COVID-19 shutdown, and then the looting and the riots, all of that street theater, they literally went down the next day after that for almost 2 weeks. And now on June 12th, as items are being removed from my store, even though they're listed indefinitely or until sold, now sales are going down again. So all of that, basically, if all of that took away the amount of money that I needed to pay these listing fees that I don't believe I should be paying in the first place, but it'll all work itself out eventually.
Well, I'll go ahead and I'll send you the email. And like I said, I'll follow up with the Office of the President on Monday to kind of see what the follow-up needs to be from them. And if you have any other questions when I get back in touch with you, let me know. And like I said, I'll send you this email here shortly with that information, okay?
Okay, I'll look forward to a call on Monday.
All right, we'll talk to you later, Michael.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye.
Office of the President.